Alright, what we learned from picks and bans. We're going to be doing differently today, where we're just going to have the team comps out already. Alright, so, going through this, VG versus OMG Game 1, their gauntlet round in the playoffs. We got two nice comps here, fairly even triple threat coming out of OMG, they like to run that, and Azir Sivir coming out of VG. Now, what we see here is the pressure's a little bit higher for VC because of the Azir range, but there is a stronger burst coming out of OMG, and that's just with the Victor, which it's gonna put pressure down. It depends how they handle it, but VG should have more pressure. But if OMG's aggressive enough and they're passive, they'll lose it all basically. So the engage, we're definitely going with VG for this, but it's just mainly in with the Annie. OMG's engage, it's not really, it's nothing special, but it's definitely there. But because of the Annie, they're a little bit better. Poke and heal. So OMG's poke coming out. Rumble doesn't have too much, although his spears are kind of pokey. Victor has his laser. Tristana just has her range, and it's not the best. Rek'Sai has his Q. Then Alistar has really nothing. Versus, so it's pretty much Victor and Rek'Sai versus Azir, Maokai, Gragas, Annie, Sivir there. That's actually going to OMG because Azir, it's like an 800 range poke, and Sivir, she has a really long Q, but that it's not anything spectacular. It's only one spell, and they're pretty much one spell, or almost two spells, but no one's a real poke comp here, but we're giving it that way. Pick potential. Really no one. Annie, kinda. But that's more engage, because you're pretty much committed. I'll just toss it that way because of the Annie. Who has to engage? It's gonna be the losing team, I think. Normally I would say OMG has to engage, but because of Victor's pressure, if he gets ahead, it should be more than enough to burst out Azir or Sivir, so then they have to watch out. So it's gonna kind of be the losing team, so because these two comps are pretty equal. I forgot that with engage the Sivir, we have to start doing that. So the fight. Alright, how will the fight work? So VG, Azir, Sivir, Maokai, Gragas, Annie. So Annie would engage Maokai, or Maokai would teleport engage onto ideally Victor, Trist. Maybe Maokai. Maokai probably would be best to just stop Rumble from teleporting in for the majority of any sort of like fight, while Annie attempts to ult Victor, and Azir and Sivir try very hard to kill Victor before he can ult back. Other than that, it's kill Trist or kill Rumble, but it's just going to be the same thing. Annie ult, Maybe Azir jump in to split the fight, I think would be good. If he can knock back Rumble, if Rumble comes in, he could Azir ult him back. I wouldn't worry about Rek'Sai unless he's building damage. But even then, I think he can tunnel under the ult. Maokai and Gragas can deal with Alistar and Rek'Sai if he wants, or just now he'd probably be better to deal with the other carry. Well, VG's trying to train on Victor Trist. So what is that? Any engage? Any on Victor or Trist? Any on Victor and Trist? OMG. They're gonna have to kind of like pressure. They're gonna have Rek'Sai go in. It's gonna be Rek'Sai going in first. There's no reason for Alistar to go in first, especially when he has the heal. So he should stay back and kind of zone. And most of what they're gonna probably be doing is trying to stack the Rumble and Victor ultimates on top of each other. Probably on top of Azir, but it can be Sivir. Azir, Sivir, and then Tristana's just killing everyone in the front line until she gets more relevant. So yeah. Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai into Victor Rumble ults. Alistar zones protects. And so who has the easier kind of fight to pull off? It's actually OMG, even though theirs is a little bit more complicated, because Alistar you can expect to always protect the carries because he's the support, so that's something he would do naturally. Rek'Sai as the jungler and they're only sort of engaged, he's probably going to be the one that's going to go in, even without like being decided to do that kind of thing. And then Rumble and Victor, ideally they'll be calling the same target, and Tristana would just be sort of attacking whatever's closest. I mean, they're probably going to be pressuring her, and Victor should be able to do it quickly. So like everything they're doing is already expected of them. They wouldn't need they wouldn't need to change what they would normally do in order to do this fight. Whereas VG, even if they get the pick, the Annie pick, there's no guarantee because of the triple threat that it's gonna be a winning. So I'm gonna be. This is actually really close. I'm gonna give a slight OMG and just watch for that. The two things I'm saying. If VG gets the Annie stun and Rumble's not there, if they get the Annie stun and get the kill, that's their team fight. If OMG manages to get Rumble in there and Alistar and can protect the carries from like the instant death, and if Victor gets his ult off on the carries, that's the big thing with him. Victor can die after that. As long as he gets his ult off on the carries and Rumble's there and Tristana's there, then OMG are more than likely going to win the fight. It can almost anything VG does, they just can't win it. And because that sort of situation exists, I think I'm going to give this to OMG. But because VG has pressure and engage and sort of pick advantage, it's gonna be low. It's gonna be a low 60% OMG, and that's that.